Here we are at Haunt on the Hill. It's Mother's Day and we're gonna spend the afternoon building a prop. I showed you Sam in my last video. His head is finished and we're gonna put the rest of him together, his body. And this is my husband Pat.
Hi.
And he's gonna tell you a little bit as to how we're gonna go about doing this.
Okay, this is basically everything you're going to need. Just some 1-inch PVC, 45s, 90s, tees, some noodles from the dollar store, heat gun, Sawzall, duct tape, of course old clothes. We kind of blend them from St. Vinny's and use some of the things that the kids grew up with. And basically we're going to get started. And when you do any project with your wife, always have calming fluid because it gets a tendency to get differences of opinion, so just word of advice. Okay, the first step is we set the boots on a piece of plywood because we're going to drill the toes into the wood for now, just to see if you can hold it. Just to hold the feet steady as we're building the prop. A couple of deck screws works fine. And okay, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to put these end caps, 1-inch end caps, and we're going to screw them inside the boot. Now these we got from Home Depot. They have a little rounded end on them, but our local hardware store has the type that are flat, which seem to work better when you're doing different props that need to sit flat onto some wood, where these are rounded and they have a tendency to bowl over. So check around, you might be able to find different styles. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to drill a couple of holes in these to make setting the screws that much easier. Doesn't matter where you drill them, anywhere is good, just so you have a couple of them. And then we're just going to set them in here, and we will take some more screws, probably drywall screws, maybe 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and we'll just secure them to the boot. Well, we've taken our caps and we've drilled them and put them inside the boots. Okay. And since Kathy wants this one to be in a crouching position, we basically, I don't know what I did with it, but we basically took a crouch and we measured the distances that we needed, and then you got to add like 2 inches for the elbows. So what it ended up being was the calf part ended up being 18 inches, and then we had to use a 90 and a little piece in between, and then a 45, so we could get the slant back to where it was in the crouch. This one's 12 inches, this is 2 inches, so it's 18, and then 2, and then 12. So then we can just put them in here, and then after we get done, we'll glue them in, but you never want to glue to your shirt. So then it's just going to work like this. We're going to take the pants like this. The other one. Basically, this is what we were looking for at first. This is our first phase. And then it's going to come up like this. Okay. So we will then take our noodles, and then she'll fill out the legs and make everything nice and thick. So the next step we'll work on is getting the waist and then the upper body.
Okay, so everything has been glued as of so far, and I started padding with the pool noodles, cutting them in half and piecing them like this. I made the knee, and then I'm going to tape this up with duct tape and just continue on.
Okay, so she's done with the wrapping of the legs. Duct tape, foam, tin foil, whatever you can use, try and form thighs and calves, and So, we're ready to put the pants on, but before we can do that, we have to make sure we have the next step ready. So I took a measurement. We have 9 inches across. So we put some 90-degree elbows on. We got us a T and 2 3-inch sections of PVC. So I'll just show you how we're gonna do this. We're gonna put these here, we're gonna put that there, and then in a second I'll glue everything together. And now we have the makings to make the butt, and then start with the torso and everything else. So we'll be back in a minute.
Okay, we are making progress. I've got a tomato cage for the bodice, and I'll wrap it up, or the torso.
Basically, we just put the sweater up. She held it up. I took measurements of the width of the shoulders and, you know, made exceptions for the width of the T and everything. So then it's just cut it out and glue it together, and the shirt should just fit on. We've got everything padded, taped. We've added the pieces for the arms. Since they're going to be in this pocket, we're just going to have the sleeves come in and meet. You won't see anything. Normally, we would have a piece come out and then put a 45 for their elbow and then their hands, but this is the elbow, and then we're not going to see any hands, so this is it. We're going to glue this up. We're going to pad this and
Put his clothes on.
Put his clothes on, and then we'll show you what it looks like after that.
All right, just a quick shot before we put his shirt on. He's all padded and ready to go. It's looking good, eh?
We glued his hands in, PVC pipe running through the middle, put his pockets in, took the neck piece, glued it on to the top of the T or the 4-way.
Now I'll hot glue and
hot glue the
tweak a little bit.
clothes, and there he is. Probably from start to finish, maybe 3 hours. He's good.
Well, all right then. This is the finished product. We're all done. Pretty much an afternoon of quality time with the husband. If you've never done this with your husband or wife before, you should definitely do it. We had a blast. So anyway, I think maybe this is where he's going to go, because the path kind of starts out here, and then, you know, he's kind of crouching behind the shrub. So anyway, everything that we have on a base like that, my husband drills a hole, and then we put like a big landscaping nail in it, so it can't just be lifted up and walked away. That I would tell you that too. But anyway, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, and stay scary.